We are now going to just play a small inaugural video from Ms.Patricia Dorn, who is the project manager for the Protection and Sustainable Management of Aquatic Resources in the Northeast region of India program, the NERAC. If I could just, yes, please play that as an introduction.
Dignitaries, researchers, and esteemed guests, a very good and warm welcome from Indonesia. Today is the 11th of November. I'm pre-recording this message, as I'm unfortunately not able to join you at this hopefully exciting and fruitful workshop. I am about to pack my things and to relocate to Germany together with my husband and 2 sons before I then hopefully can depart to Northeast India early next year. Well, the topic of traditional knowledge, in fact, has been quite close to my heart since many years, as I did my bachelor thesis on traditional ecological knowledge, or rather sacred ecology, with a tiny village in Bali. I was researching about how the worldview of the Balinese Hinduism is impacting their sustainable bamboo forest management and beyond. If you have a closer look to the title of this workshop, you will find out that it's actually not only about knowledge, but about current and traditional practices. And I think this is important to differentiate because knowledge is embedded in practices. So basically, how are things being done and why? And then again, practices are embedded and even more guided by our belief concepts. So without understanding the worldview, the cosmology, the belief, or the meaning of the sacred for a certain community, any other further efforts for understanding social institutions, resource management, and local knowledge, which are crucial for us to make developing suggestions, will be very difficult. Well, if we now transfer this trilogy of knowledge, practice, and belief to resource management of communities, practices combine the social institutions and traditional administrative structures, which will then give us the understanding of why and how a local community is managing their land, or for our field of aquatic resources, are managing their rivers, their wetlands, etc., in a certain manner. So therefore, the social institutions are really key to find out about how the process of decision-making is arranged and accomplished. And for aquatic resources, I think even more important to recognize that we're talking about common pool resources. So those resources like fish and other species, they are not managed or governed by private hands or by the government, but majorly being managed by the community, so commonly managed by local villages. So therefore, we need to look into their rules, and their rules that they have developed by the community. So who is allowed to participate in developing or modifying those rules? How are these rules respected by outside authorities, and how are they monitoring those rules, and do they maybe even have sanctioning processes in place for those community members, or like fishermen, who are violating these rules? And how are disputes in the village being resolved? And last but not least, how effective are those rules? Are they really contributing to sustainable management of aquatic resources? So why are we having this workshop now? I think you've been already told the major objectives of the workshop. Well, under the NERAC project, it is really one of our core outputs that together, in a cooperation with universities and local institutions, we analyze fish in vertical stocks and their risk to climate change, and then feed these learnings and recommendations into state action plans. So bringing together science, policy, and local communities is now the very first step where we are right now in this workshop, because we have participants from all of these 3 target groups, policy, research, and local community sitting here, because we want to find out how the project could best contribute and support these major 3 sectors throughout the next 2 years. And in fact, this combination of bringing together findings from science, together with local and traditional know-how of riverine population is a novelty. So yeah, we try to make this workshop as interactive as possible. So I do hope all of you will find time to contribute and make this workshop a success. Last but not least, I would like to thank Kohima Science College. Dr. Lima, thank you to you and your team for hosting us in your campus. I'd like to thank Aja, Imka, and Raj from GIZ for all your organizational and logistical support. And of course also Vertiver, thank you to Chhaya and your team. And thanks to all of you who have traveled to Nagaland all this way. Enjoy this workshop. And again, warm regards from Kari Mutawa.